I call the Development Review Board to order, December 4th, 2018.
Okay, first item on our agenda this evening are the minutes from last time.
Any changes, additions? Don't see any. What do we got, Charlie?
Make a motion to approve.
Moves, Barry seconds, all in favor?
I'm staying, I was absent.
All in favor, Ron abstains. Okay. We do have a sign-up sheet this evening and every evening. We ask the folks that speak to the board this evening to sign that. It's on the podium over there, and it does include the following oath statement. I solemnly swear or affirm under the pains and penalty of perjury that the statements I make, testimony I give, and other evidence I submit to the board at the board's public hearing held in this state shall be true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. And again, we ask folks to sign in before they speak to the board this evening. The next item on the agenda is disclosure of any ex parte communications or conflicts of interest of any of the board members regarding the matter before the board this evening.
Do you have any? Don't see any.
Okay. All right, our one and only hearing this evening. This is the first of two required hearings for this project. So there'll be another hearing at the very least on the 18th. But this is the first and preliminary hearing. It is the Town of Bennington and Scarafoni Associates, 747 Main Street. They're seeking approval for a bulk water filling station. And Jason Dolman from MSK is here to present on behalf of the town, I believe.
Good evening, I'm Jason Dolman with MSK Engineering, presenting for the town of Bennington as an applicant for the construction of a bulk water filling station at the across the street from the intersection of Bradford Street and Route 7 or Main Street in Bennington. So the project proposed is the construction of a small water filling station. It essentially contains a UV filter, and that's where the filling trucks will park and fill their vehicles. In addition, there remains the existing parking facility, and that will remain in the front. What we proposed is a continuous strip of plantings and fence and some planting material, as well as modifying the two entrances that exist there to accept the new vehicular traffic. We don't anticipate additional demand for community facilities. Just so people are aware, the existing filling station is off of Bradford Street at the Morgan Springs Pump House, which is nearby this facility coming down Bradford Street. These trucks that enter the site they come from 279 and they drive to Bradford Street now and fill at the Morgan Springs Pump Station. So they will now be coming and turning into this site, filling up, and then leaving via 279 again.
Jason, could you point out kind of the traffic circulation so folks kind of know what?
Yeah. So the plan will be to enter from 279. They will enter the site here. They will drive around to the back where they will fill, and they will drive out and exit to the east as well. And what we provided to you originally was, this is a slightly modified plan. What this does is essentially breaks up the parking area that's in the front that services the lot, the adjacent parcel across the street, with the filling area behind. The site is located in a Zone A flood zone. What that means is we have to undertake to develop the base flood elevation and the floodway, which does not exist in the FEMA maps. And once we've assembled that, we will provide that to the state for their comment. But at this point, we will be elevating the structure 1 foot above base flood elevation once that's determined. I believe we've met the landowners to the west, and They have requested some additional plantings here, which we'll modify and present at the next hearing. And I know that we've also received a comment requesting a crosswalk, which we will also place on the plans approximately at the intersection of Bradford and Main Street. We'll show that on the plans as well during the next submission.
Any questions? Yes, Dan.
I have two. So typically, traffic will enter taking a left into the,
Correct.
would it be wiser to put the crosswalk downstream from that truck entrance?
So the reason why I would suggest this is because it's an intersection. So in theory, an intersection, there's always an implied crosswalk. To have a mid-block crossing over here, I feel like it's better for the pedestrian to be in a location where people anticipate pedestrians to cross, and they usually do that at intersections. This isn't, I mean, we've got 6,700 vehicle trips per day on this road. We're talking about taking the 20 or so that come right now and moving them this way. So the intermittency of it.
And overall, you're not anticipating increased traffic than the current facility, right?
That's correct.
Should be approximately the same?
Approximately the same, that's correct. Yes.
Dan?
What happens to the old pump house? What's going, the structure up there?
The existing pump house will stay there. It houses, right now it houses the two variable speed motor pumps that pump water out of Morgan Springs and feeds the town.
Oh, they're gonna stay there and feed the same?
Yeah, so there's two pumps in there, there's two 400 horsepower pumps that pull water out of Morgan Springs and add it into the downtown supply. There's a small jockey pump that's attached to that feeds the supply to this. And so those will all remain there.
That's the same thing. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? Jason, the parking of this whole parking lot is gravel?
The current, yes, it is.
It just the two entrances are paved?
Yes, that's the plan for now.
Any other questions? Yes.
May not be pertinent to this hearing, but what's the cost and who's paying for it?
We have an estimate. I don't have that with me right now, so I don't want to misspeak. But we're exploring those cost options right now.
Who's paying for it?
I've been asked to develop a cost and to apply
Okay.
for this. So I'm not trying to skirt it. I just
I know, no problem. Oh, yeah, I was curious. Not maybe folks like to know that stuff.
And they will have to, of course. So.
Let us know next time. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone from the audience like to speak on this? Yes.
I signed up to actually.
Here, go up to the microphone. Go up to the microphone.
Yeah, sure. Can I use your chart there?
Oh, please.
So my name's John Hale, and I actually own 5 businesses in town. 3 of them are located in this building across the street, 748 Main Street. One is a laundromat, one is a construction company, and one's a property management company. There's also 2 other businesses, which is Domino's Pizza and a hair salon. And I mean, just a rough estimate, there's probably 150 to 200 customers pulling in and out of these 2 areas and these 2 areas, plus customers walking across the street on a regular basis. And we watch this truck traffic on a regular basis, and they don't come from 279. They come from downtown the majority of the time. As a matter of fact, I followed a truck today that went down right through the 4 corners. So the consistency of them following that traffic pattern is not happening today, and I don't think that this is going to change that at all. Also, you know, the way these trucks pull into Bradford Street, they're not pulling out of a parking lot into the middle of the street, which is going to block both lanes. I mean, there's not enough room to put these trucks in and out of there. I mean, these are 18-wheeler trucks. At 20 a day, they come about every 20 to 30 minutes from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's going to put a burden on 30 employees, 150 to 200 customers a day. I honestly object to this proposal and think that there should be something better proposed to prevent an interference. I mean, we're talking about quite a bit of people that are going to be impacted by this proposal being implemented. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Any questions? Anyone else like to speak? Come up, you have to sign in, please.
My name is Rupert Millett, and I live at 755 Main Street on the same side.
Did you sign in?
Pardon?
Did you sign in?
I did not.
Oh, here's a pen. I'm sorry, I took the wrong thing. It looked like mine.
What'd you do with it here?
Here, it's
I
right
got
there.
it. How do I do this? Introduce myself. My name's Robert Millette. I live at 755 Main Street on the same side that you're proposing for this thing, this, what is it called? A couple of my concerns is the building that's existing on here now that's abandoned, is that going to be left there? Because right now it's a shooting gallery for every...
It will be raised, it'll be taken down.
And how much of this is going to infringe on my property? Because where you're going to come in from that is going to be cutting it off awful short. And I don't know if you're going to get into where that hydrant is and the back around. And those trucks are huge, and that's a small lot, so I'm a little concerned about that.
Jason can address that one. Jason, you want to address that concern?
So your concern, so I heard two concerns, or two concerns reiterated, was the concern about the trucks driving in and driving out and how they're going to do that. So we actually took this plan and staked it out and had a vehicle, we ran it in the turning model that we have, and then we went and asked for one of the suppliers to bring a vehicle here and drive it through the site. And they were able to accomplish that within the proposed curb cuts, as well as inside the gravel area that we've shown.
So you won't be impacting this gentleman's property?
That's correct. I just before you, are you to the east?
I am.
You're here. Okay. Yes, so that's
Same
correct.
side.
So that will be, so it will be solely contained within the property, and they will have access to it.
There'll be
They
a lot
will.
of noise too, constant.
The trucks drive in, they park, and they drive out. There's, the whole site is designed to not require a vehicle to back up. So when they do, the noise that they'll make is them pulling in and pulling out, which for the most part, when we've looked at vehicles, they idle themselves in, they park, they pull out, and they leave. It sounds very much similar to the amount of the vehicle traffic that you're going to hear on Route 7.
So this will eliminate Bradford Street, or you won't be coming from Bradford to...
That's correct.
So what about staging, Jason? Because they park on the side of Main Street right now and wait till the truck pulls out of Bradford Street and the new one pulls in. I mean, it's constant. It's, when there's 20 trucks, it's every half hour for 10 hours a day.
We can confirm that the vehicles will have space to wait off-site, off-street.
You also have Domino's, Coca-Cola, and all that at the...
Right, so...
And that's...
John, I'll probably have to do one at a time here.
Sure,
I think,
sure.
Charles.
Like you're saying, the Domino's, pizza, the laundromat, and these trucks come in, and that's all they got to pay to park is right there at the end of the road. And if you're coming for water and he's here, there's gonna be a pileup.
We listen to all of that, night and day.
Anything else, John?
For me?
You did answer.
Well, one point that I didn't make out is Domino's gets their deliveries twice a week, probably between 9 and 12 a.m. or p.m. So there's an 18-wheeler that parks on Main Street right here to do their deliveries, which is going to be blocking this exit right here. He takes up half the road, so you have to go around him. I mean, I don't know if he's supposed to be doing that, he's got cones up when he's doing it, but
It's illegal.
there's been no enforcement, and it's been going on for the 3 years that I've been there. But we're really concerned about the safety of 18-wheelers now impacting pedestrians going across that street constantly. It's great to hear that there's gonna be a crosswalk coming in, but, you know, the amount of traffic's pulling in and out of there today, we have people cutting through our parking lot to get around the 18-wheelers that are going down Bradford Street. So now they're gonna be pulling out of this parking lot. And we all know, cutting over a curb cut and a sidewalk, they're not gonna be going very fast, so it's gonna be a traffic impact on quite a few people, customers, employees, not to mention pulling in and out of Main Street, out of the parking lot.
Of course, these trucks won't be going very fast.
Yes, and they pull out, they're gonna be pulling out, blocking 2 lanes, so both ways are gonna stop. I don't know if, Jason, they were able to set an example that they won't pull into both lanes when they pull out of the parking lot?
I can confirm, but I believe that when we ran the truck turning and they ran it, that the goal was to have it not pass into the next lane.
Jason, how many trucks a day do you think there'll be?
Basically, it's the same that they have right now. I believe it's about 20.
We go out counting 20 yesterday.
Anyone else like to speak? Barry?
I got a question for you. How does the water get from the main to the tanker? Is there pumps on location, or do the tankers pump the water? Or is it pressure enough in the line to make the water flow?
So we're going to run a dedicated line from Morgan Springs to this pump house, and the jockey pump, which will feed this line, will still be housed in the Morgan Springs pump house inside the structure.
If that line is bigger, will the trucks fill faster?
The line will, the trucks will fill as fast as the jockey pump can pump.
Okay, so the
That's
jockey
the
pump's
way
the
it'll be
limiting
sized.
factor.
Yeah.
If the jockey pump were increased in size or capacity,
Could they fill faster?
will the line handle it? I guess maybe I'm asking the
It's a
wrong-
little
are you putting-
conjecture.
Are you putting the line in?
The line is going to be installed, so all of that will be.
Is that your
Yes.
bailiwick? Oh.
Yeah.
Will that line size be sufficient if they increase the jockey pump?
The line size will be sufficient for the design of the pump, and at this point, the pump is relatively new, so I don't see that jockey pump being switched out.
I'm just looking down the road a little bit.
I mean, it's a decent sized pump right now, and it's a Grundfos pump. I think they put it in, 8 or 10 years ago. Those things outlived me, so I don't anticipate those being changed.
Dan?
Is there any possibility of staging the truck that's actually being filled at the moment kind of on the westerly side of the U of the lot, so that there's absolutely, so there's absolutely room for one more truck to stay off the street?
Yeah, I mean, hearing the comment, I think it's worthwhile to take a look to see whether that can be accomplished. I think there is enough space, I believe, so we can show how those truck turns work.
And just being able to put 2 on the lot at once would at least clear the street for the most part.
Any other questions? Anyone else in the audience? You have to come and sign in if you want to speak, please.
I'm sorry.
I was just wondering how much of our land this is going to infringe on. We don't have very much. And also, I'm very concerned about the noise factor. 20 trucks a day. You know, we already have, living on Main Street, we already have a lot of traffic that we have to listen to, and I think this would be another burden. I don't like the idea of it myself.
Is there a restriction on the time that they can come?
Well, the application is for 8 to 6, Monday
8 to
through
6.
Friday,
Okay.
and 8 to noon on Saturday. There'll also be a fence, I don't know if you've looked at the plan, I don't believe you have, there'll also be a 8-foot-high stockade fence along your property line. Jason, maybe you could show that. So there won't be any infringement on your property itself. The fence will protect your property from anything going on to your property. So Jason, maybe you could just...
We propose the construction of a fence. You have a shed in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically from the entrance to where that shed is, we'd be proposing to install a screen stockade fence.
Okay.
8 feet in height.
8
correct?
feet in height, that's correct.
Wooden fence?
A wooden fence, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Barry?
I've got another question for Jason. Presently, are there provisions for more than one truck to fill at the same time?
No,
Just one?
just one.
They park on Bradford Street now, and that, I know, causes a lot of issues with the people there.
I wondered what was going to be put in here for provisions to fill a truck, whether you could fill 2 at a time or just one.
At this point, we're proposing, the plan is to do just one.
It would require an amendment to change that.
Jason, what's the actual mechanism for filling a truck? Is it a fire hose, essentially?
Looks just like a fire hose.
Flexible fire hose that
It's a
they just
flexible
run
hose.
out to their truck and...
It'll be
Connect
rigid
to the
pipe in the
coupler?
ground, and then it'll come up in, and it'll go through a second UV system so that there's an additional disinfectant, and then it goes back, it essentially comes out the wall, and there'll be a small section of flexible hose that connects up with the truck.
And the driver himself is the one who actually makes the connection.
Yep, and there'll be an on and off switch, and that'll send a signal out to the jockey pump over at Morgan Springs, which will turn on.
Thanks.
So there's no actual pumps in that building.
Correct, there's no pumps in that building.
Any other questions? It's the board's pleasure. Yes, Barry?
This requires 2 hearings anyway.
Right, yeah.
Yes, yes.
So I guess preliminary approval to go on to the second hearing.
Okay. Charles seconds. All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
The next meeting
Is
is
it-
in 2 weeks.
Next week meeting will be 2 weeks.
2 weeks to the next meeting.
Any other business this evening?
Any other business? Charles?
Make a motion to go into, to close the meeting, I guess.
Just to adjourn?
Oh, to adjourn.
Just to adjourn.